And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with Tom Vasel.
Today, we're going to be taking a look at Wallenstein, which is a game I really enjoy, but we've already reviewed the game. You can see the Miami Dice episode where we've taken a look at Wallenstein and told you what I thought. I love it. But today I wanted to take a look at the two expansions that come in Wallenstein. They're both fairly small expansions. Well, one actually has a decent amount of pieces, but their impact on the game isn't that gigantic. So what we want to do is we want to take a look at these and see, are they worth playing with? If they both come in this set, so if you have the old set, is it worth buying this new set to get these expansions? Let's take a look. The first expansion is a very small expansion in which players take 4 cards and put those cards in front of them. And at the beginning of each turn of the game, you will look and see, do you have armies in 4 different regions on the board? And so let's say I have armies, I'm the blue guy, and I have armies here, and I control a region here, and I control a region here, and I control a region here. So yes, I have them in 4 different regions on the board. At that point, I would take the top card and slide it down, and I can take one of these 2 special abilities. I can take $2, or I can throw an army into the tray over here, which will give me an advantage in future battles. Now, if I do that on the second turn, now I have 3 different choices. I get a free food, $4, or put 2 armies in the tray. And then the last one, 2 food, I can take a point, throw 3 cubes in the tower, or $6. And then winter again, we reset it, no matter where I am at that point in time. This expansion is a very small expansion, but basically just encourages you to be all over the board, which you likely will be anyway, and just gives a bonus for those who do. It also gives you a way to, it might make you attack somebody who has only 1 territory in a region just so they don't get this bonus. So that's one of the things. The other one is the Emperor's Court. Now, you can see this board right here. This is the Emperor's Court, and this is placed on the side. And a whole pile of pieces are included in the game to show couriers that are in the Emperor's Court. And these couriers are going to be placed here in the entrance first, and then they're going to be moved into the Emperor's Court. The reason you want to move them into the Emperor's Court is to get these cards. These cards will give all sorts of bonuses. You can see some pretty obvious ones as extra money, putting reinforcements in a region, getting extra grain, putting more things into the tower. So they're basically all different sorts of bonuses that you can get over the course of the game. And the way that you will get these is each player has a new board that they will place next to their player board. And what they will do with this is they can place a region card into one of their regions on the board here. So if I put a card here, what I will do is when I flip the cards over, I can say, oh, that's Regensburg. And so then I will go over to the board looking to where Regensburg is. And let's say I have 4 yellow cubes there, and I put it where the 1 is. I would take one of my cubes out, and that would allow me to put one of my guys here in the Emperor's Court. And then at the end of the round, these guys would move up, and hopefully I would win one of those cards. So it's interesting in that you're pulling people, sometimes up to 3 people, from the board, cubes that could be used in attack or defense, and sending them over here to get benefits. Now, the benefits of this expansion are, sometimes there are regions where you have a lot of cubes and no one is going to attack you. It just can happen. It's difficult to move them around the board. Let's say I have a whole pile here, and yellow and black, they are not going to attack me. Well, what harm does it if I take these 3 purple cubes out? On the other hand, you have to sometimes think very dangerously, because you might take these guys out, and then, little do you know, on the next turn, black puts a whole pile of reinforcements into this region, and he's going to come after you. And so you have to consider that as part of the game. I really enjoy Wallenstein, and I am not opposed to throwing one or both of these expansions in. The first one, very simple to throw in, because the sliding of cards, and I like the fact that it makes you spread out, although the game kind of makes you spread out anyway, because the more provinces you're in, the more points you can get. The second one, the King's Court, I'm less interested in. I'm not opposed to it. I don't dislike it. It adds something, it gives you more things, but really, Wallenstein is already an interesting game. You already have 10 different places that you're putting cards, 11 when you include the bidding for turn order. So why do I need 3 more places to put cards? Well, I mean, was I sitting around going, there wasn't enough choices in Wallenstein, so I need some more? No, that's not going to happen. And then it's all these pieces and extra setup. The only reason you were going to buy Wallenstein was for these 2 expansions, that is not worth it. Now, I think it is worth it to maybe upgrade because there's better pieces in this game. It looks nicer. Everything, just the whole thing comes together in a better package. There is the bidding for turn order, which wasn't in the original one. And it does have these expansions, but I don't know that I would let that push me over the edge. I don't know how often I'm going to play with these, and I play Wallenstein often. I just think this adds much ado about nothing. But I got to be careful. I don't want to say that these expansions diminish my enjoyment of the game. I just don't think they give enough extra woohoo for the amount of time it takes to teach them and set them up and so on. Maybe for diversity's sake, maybe if you played Wallenstein all the time. But for me, take or leave them.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews, as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find the latest board game news at Dicetowernews.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Fun Again Games, the world's best game source. Fun Again Games has over 5,000 games available. Check them out at funagain.com.